can now talk to the Solicitor General, Lucy Fraser, this morning, our Government Minister this morning. Good to speak to you this morning, Lucy. We've got lots to talk to you about, of course, but this is the Friday of a hugely emotional week. So many so upset by what we've seen, the abuse of England players online, and rightly so, and are saying, what more can the government do? Some mixed messages, accusations from government ministers that have led to a general feeling where racism can fester and feel supported, and also actions that the government has tried to take, like bringing in the online safety bill. That's been put back. That's had to be put back. It cannot even commit to bringing the draft of the bill to Parliament. It was initially until the end of 2021. Of course, the pandemic has taken precedent, but we're now looking at 2023 or 2024. It feels very frustrating that something that's causing so much unjust, evil misery can't be got under control.
So, first of all, can I share the expressions of deep regret, and I'm appalled by the racist behaviour of some people towards our fantastic team, and condemn the behaviour of those who have sent racist and abusive messengers. In terms of what can the government do and what is it doing, as well as condemning that behaviour. You mentioned the online safety bill. That will be brought forward, and that will be brought forward in time. I'm afraid I don't understand that it's being delayed till 2024.
Well, because of the pandemic, it was put back. So it's still, in fact, actually, the DCMS has now said that it cannot commit to bringing a draft of the bill to Parliament until 2021 because of the pandemic. And that means that the bill now won't become law until either 2023 or 2024.
The online safety bill will be brought forward and introduced into Parliament, and I know that because I sit on the Parliamentary Bill Committee, and it's a bill that...
Brought forward, you mean brought to the attention of, don't you? I think what people would like is it to be brought forward in time and treated as a very real priority.
I know that it is a priority because it's a bill that has come before the Bill Committee, which considers which legislation is shortly to be introduced. And the measures in that bill will ensure that social media companies are brought to account. And one of the measures in that bill is that social media companies, if they do not take action, they could be fined up to 10% of their revenues. And social media companies do need to take responsibility.
Well, we know that, and I don't want to interrupt you, but, you know, that means potentially 2 or 3 years of continued abuse until even that can start, let alone be executed and delivered. You know, we have seen how people can pick up the phone in government and make calls and make things happen. How are the calls with the companies going?
Well, on Monday, the Prime Minister had a meeting with all the leaders of the social media platforms to make extremely clear what the government's position was and how it expected the social media companies to respond to that. And another measure...
Have they given you any sense of listening?
Well, I know that they recognise their responsibility, but now it is time for them to take action. And of course, I'm sure if you invited them on, they would explain what they're doing, as well as, of course, responding to our bill. Another measure that the government announced this week is in relation to looking at whether we can ban people from football matches who make this sort of these racist comments. And a third thing that we're doing, that the agencies are doing, I know that the police and CPS are looking into looking at the evidence as to whether they can prosecute anyone for hate crimes.
I think the trouble is all of this sounds like it's going to take time. Obviously, for the online safety bill to come into effect, that's going to take time. There's even going to be a 12-week consultation, we understand, on changing banning orders to include online abuse offences. So people are calling for action now, and that's not what they're seeing. It's all very well to say this will happen at some point further down the line, but in the meantime, we know that these types of crimes, race and religious offences, hit a new high last year. This problem isn't going away, and it needs immediate action to happen right now, doesn't it?
And there can and will be immediate action by the appropriate prosecuting authorities in relation to these individual cases where there is evidence of crimes having been committed. That is the immediate and appropriate action that is taken. But the government takes this issue very seriously. One of the first actions that the Prime Minister took was a commission in relation to race and is considering very carefully the report that was published as a result of that commission, as well as the measures that I've already outlined, which include legislation and other actions.
We have to talk to you as well about coronavirus. You know, I know we're running out of time, but obviously we are counting down, aren't we, to Freedom Day in England on Monday, to the measures being relaxed, all the legal restrictions being scrapped. There are big questions about whether this is the right time to do this, with the warning from Professor Chris Whitty that we're not out of the woods, that this could mean that further lockdowns ensue as a consequence. When we look at the figures, deaths up 48%. From the figure in the past 7 days, cases up 33%. There's a lot of concern from people that actually we shouldn't be fully lifting the restrictions in the way that it's planned to do.
Look, I understand the concerns of people who want to ensure that we keep infections and deaths down, and particularly those who are clinically vulnerable. But the position that we're in at the moment is you're right to highlight that infection rates are rising and they will continue to rise. But because of the vaccine programme, we're managing to severely weaken the link between infections, hospitalisations and deaths. Of course, we still have some, but because
48% though in that figure.
The highest for 6 months in terms of COVID cases as well. And the government appears at odds with its chief medical advisor. Do you still feel confident that people are safe come Monday in England?
So although the figures are rising, the link is significantly reduced because of the vaccine. And we've now vaccinated 2/3 of the adult population in terms of 2 doses. And we know that once you've had 2 doses, you have a significant protection against hospitalisation, severe disease and hospitalisation. And if we don't lift the restrictions now, we're in the summer, when we've vaccinated such a large number of people, you know, the question arises, when do we lift restrictions and start to get back to normal? And just commenting on the point you made about Chris Whitty, because, you know, he did make some comments in the speech which you referred to, but he also recognised how far we have come since last March and how many more measures there are at our fingertips to deal with the virus. You know, I mentioned the vaccinations, but we've also got test and trace. We also have, you know, the PPE, and we also had the genomic sequencing to see whether we're getting variants of concern coming through our population.
OK, we'll have to leave it there, but thanks very much. That's Solicitor General Lucy Frazer joining us this morning.